So, um, I have to listen to my public because we're all buds now.
Yeah, that's it, right? And talking about all those drummers that you have on this project, it's like they're all totally different from each other. So it's like, talking about
Yeah.
Tommy Lee, is actually Tommy playing a drum kit, or is he like programming beats on this? Because he could do both.
When because I'm associated with and have worked with all these drummers before. I just, Tommy's a bro. I played on a lot of guitars on his solo records. So I call him up and I go, "Hey man, you want to play on the track?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, come on over." And I go, we went to his studio, and actually he got so involved that I sent him, like, I wrote a song. I listened to a Motley Crue live drum solo where he was playing this groove. And
Hmm.
I want to be, when I call up a drummer and say, "Hey, do you want to play on a track?" I don't want it to be like, "Hey, pick one." I want it to be like something I put together for that drummer. So I took this groove and I wrote a song to the groove and I sent it to Tommy and I go, "Hey, this is the song I'd love you to play on." And he goes, "Oh man, this is amazing, but I think it's fast. Can we slow it down?" And then he got on his computer and took a sample of what I sent him and put a groove to it, like 10 beats per minute slower, so I could hear what it would sound like. And then when we got into the studio, we slowed it down even more. And but it's funny because before we did that, we recorded four other drummers at his studio. I think it was um, Abe and Matt Chamberlain
Hmm.
and Kenny Aronoff and I want to say Glenn Sobel and Randy Cook, another Canadian. And so he came down when we were doing the Matt Chamberlain, and he's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "It's a new Joe's track." And he's like, "Who is that?" And he's talking about Matt Chamberlain, who's totally killing the track.
Hmm.
And he's listening, and he's really animated in the studio. Like he's like a kid in a candy store. He's like,
Nice. He's actually
he's
grooving. He's into it.
he's grooving, he's
Like
into
those
it.
SNL
And then it
characters
gets
from back in the
and
day.
and this is the thing. He's into it and he's grooving and the head's bobbing, and then we get to the bridge and he kind of stops and he's looking around, and I'm like, "I got to change the bridge."
Mhm.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
if Tommy stops bobbing his head, that means it ain't right. So I went home and I rewrote the bridge. And then I called him the next day. I go, "Hey man, check this out. I rewrote the bridge." He goes, "Why'd you write the bridge?" I go, "Because you stopped bobbing your head."
Bobbing.
And he's like, "You're kidding me. You rewrote a bridge because I stopped bobbing my head." I go, "Fuck yeah, dude."
Wow. It's better than having
So
like an A&R guy over your shoulder. You just got Tommy Lee. If he's vibing, great. If not, got to rewrite it.
exactly. Then he got even more when he heard that track. He got even more excited about playing on the track that I sent him. And it was the same thing with Matt Chamberlain. Matt Chamberlain is such a great drummer, and we did a session together. And when they were like, "Hey, why don't you guys take five? We got to like set something up, like a vocal chain or something," we would start jamming Zeppelin. And I'm like, "Oh my God, this got such a great vibe and a great player and all that stuff." So I sent him 2 songs or 3 songs, and I said, "Hey man, two," and he just wrote back and said, "Hey man, I'll play on anything." And I'm like, "That's not what I want to hear." So then I specifically wrote something to say on volume 1 for Matt Chamberlain, and I sent it to him, and then I got the correct answer, which was, "Oh yeah, dude, this is awesome. I'll play on this for sure." So that's, I mean, I want it to be every time we went in it, the whole thing trickles into volume 2 where every time we went into the studio with the drummer, that drummer's in the band for an hour and a half. So it's me,
Mm.
Dan, and a drummer. And whether it's Taylor Hawkins or Tommy
Yeah,
Lee,
it's amazing.
we're sitting there talking about this is gonna happen here and this is gonna happen here. And I'm like, "Hey, can you hit more snares in that section?" And he goes, I thought it was dramatic when there wasn't a snare there. So this the second time, and we're talking like a band.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, me having a history with Tommy since '99 is one thing, but Dan walked in, met Tommy, and now he's recording with him. So he was kind of flipped out because he's a huge Tommy Motley Crue fan.
Yeah.
So don't worry, he kept it together because he's a cool cucumber.
Unlike Mitch, Mitch would be fangirling.
Be fangirling. By the way, when he's describing that every drummer's in for an hour and a half, I'm thinking, when did this become an LA Guns interview?
Oh.